It's been nearly 1 month since a collapsed pipeline sent more than 240 million gallons of sewage right into the Potomac River, according to DC Water. For the first time since that spill, top officials with DC Water took our questions today.
Yeah, and it was a heated news conference right after DC Water officials briefed the DC Council. Rafael Sanchez Cruz is live at the Wilson building with more. Rafa, sparks flew quite a bit. DC Water says they'd planned to have this news briefing all along, but they sure didn't tell us that for a while.
No.
They did not tell us, Les. They didn't tell anybody that this was even happening. A source told me that they were meeting with the DC Council. That's why we were able to get down here to ask those questions. As for those answers from DC Water, well, a lot of those are still pending tonight. DC Water officials say the segment of the Potomac Interceptor that collapsed last month was already scheduled for repairs later this summer.
The scale is 1 to 5, 5 being an emergency. A 3 is it's fair. And so the 3.5, it was fair.
What caused the pipe to break is still unknown, according to DC Water CEO David Gaddis.
It happened to break on us before we were able to get to it.
This update prompting concern among DC Council members who were briefed Tuesday morning. No news cameras were allowed inside that briefing.
One of the issues for me was that there are 20 other areas that may need more attention to.
DC Water says emergency repairs are expected to be completed by mid-March.
We believe that we have contained all the spill from the break site since February 9th.
But when pressed by reporters, they were unable to answer if there's still any sewage flowing into the Potomac.
I think you're touching on the conversation we had earlier.
That was a response when officials were asked whether DC Water customers should expect a rate increase to help cover the cost of repairs for this major project. They also declined to say how much the district could ultimately be responsible for as the overall cost of the repairs continues to come into focus.
Those are conversations that we want to ensure we're following all of the council.
Inside the room, DC Water told council members Maryland would have to pay the brunt of the overall costs. How much? It's too soon to know. Now, during that meeting with the DC Council, we are told that DC's Director of Energy and the Environment, Richard Jackson, said that he would be willing to eat the fish in the Potomac. But that's a stark difference from the guidance that's being issued by his own agency, telling residents and even pets to avoid all unnecessary contact with the water in the Potomac River. That includes fishing. Now, DC Water tells us they plan to host a hearing and a meeting with community members to hear directly from them next week. A time, date, and location still unknown. We're told it's most likely to be in Maryland. Les, Lorenzo.
All these weeks later, we are still waiting for clarity and urgency, Rafa. All these weeks later. It's a lot. It's a lot. They've got a lot of ground to make up. All right, thank you.